Welcome back, Year 8s, to our next lesson on the First World War, on the Great War. The last couple of lessons, last 2 or 3, have all been about getting our head around how and why it started. Now we're going to start looking actually at the nature of the war itself. So this lesson really is quite a large, chunky one. You could actually even break it down to 2 lessons if you wish. Okay, there's more than enough work here for just one 75-minute period. So take your time. You could break it down to, say, 2 sort of 30 or 40-minute periods. It's up to you how much time you spend on this, as long as you do spend some time on it. So today we're going to be looking at the conditions of trench warfare and government censorship, and in particular, okay, why perhaps censorship might have been necessary. So our first keyword here is censorship. Okay, make sure I'm going to be highlighting keywords as we go. Make sure that you write down these words and you find out the meanings of them. So our learning objectives today is finding about conditions in the trenches and ultimately why the government thought it necessary to censor information going home. So we've got a couple of extracts here. I'd like you, ladies and gents, to read these 2 extracts. Read this one, read these 2. Okay. And then look at, first of all, how they are different and why they are different. Yeah. Okay. How they are different and why they're different. So we've got some language here. Okay. Officers, keywords, officers. Okay, proximity. All right, we've got some keywords, so write these down and look them up. So loads in here. Okay, so first of all, shells. Okay, salient. All right, field gun. Okay, salvos. Veteran. Okay, uninhabitable. So there's some advanced language going on here. Beggared. Okay, fathom. Some different kind of language. Some of it is a little bit antiquated. Okay, so make sure you are looking these up and that you are figuring them out and writing down their meanings as we go. Okay, once you've done that, as I said, compare the 2 sources. How are they different? And why do you think they're going to be different? Yeah. Okay. What are the differences between them and why? Pause the video here and have a go at that. So, welcome back. There are loads and loads of really, really good YouTube videos out there. Okay. Loads and loads of really good ones. Okay. I was going to give you a couple of suggestions, but I've got to be honest, I thought this actually might be a nice opportunity for you to do some research. Okay, so if you just type in World War I trenches, okay, I've provided you a YouTube link here. So have a quick look then, bring this up. We have got here, let me see now, a whole load here. Okay. Any of the videos to do with the Great War series are really, really good and factual. Okay. So this one's quite a new one. That's only 4 months ago. That came up at the end of last year. Okay. There's a documentary if you've got the time. That one's really nice. Dan Snow. Any of the ones to do with Dan Snow are really, really good. And this animation here is quite nice as well. So take your time. Okay. There's a scene from War Horse you can watch. More Dan Snow and what have you. So, okay. Really go through that. You know, it's up to you how much time you want to spend on this. Okay. If you know, but watch at least 2 or 3. But you know, don't go over the top on it. And I don't want to hear any complaints about people spending weeks on this, but it's up to you. Yeah, it's your little project. So There are so many here. Watch just a couple. Okay, I want you to pick one out of your 2 or 3 or however many you watch that you think is the best and why. One that you think actually is the least useful or not as good and why. Okay, and then write down at least 5 defining characteristics of trench warfare. 5 things which you think, yeah, all of the videos say. Yeah, okay. All right, pause the video and go away, come back. So have a quick look at this cross section then. All right, so we've got here, and this is the sort of stuff you would have seen in your videos, okay? We've got the trench itself dug into the ground. This is going to be, so the height here, okay, bring up my pen. This here, all right, that's not great. I wanted it in black. That there, that's going to be about 6 to 8 meters deep in height, yeah? So this is going to be, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be deep enough so a soldier can walk along it without having to duck down too low, all right? So they can stand up quite comfortably without getting their brains blown out, yeah? So that's one thing, one of the defining characteristics. Then we've got this dugout here, all right? And this is dug into the side, and it provides shelter. It means it's somewhere for them to get in when the shells are coming down on top of them, okay? They can also sleep in there, eat in there, cook in there, wash and shave, you know, have little also kind of, they might have little offices in there with tables and chairs and stuff. So the nature of the dugout largely dependent upon what is needed of it. Now down here at the bottom, we've got duck boards. Again, a key word here. Look that up. What is a duck board? So this is water, okay, in this little pit down here. Think about why they might need this. Think about why they might be kind of need wood that would stand on top of water. All right. So then we've got a fire step here, all right, which would mean that a soldier has got something they can stand on or sit on or get up out of this water, and more importantly, so they can actually look over the top here as well. All right, so they can actually look over the top of what's going on up there. All right, some kind of wooden or iron support to stop the trenches collapsing, particularly when they get wet, when they get soggy, and that, or when the bombs start hammering down on top. Okay. We've got sandbags, lots and lots of sandbags. Oh, we've got a little bit of a, let's get rid of that there, eraser. So we've got sandbags as well. So on the top of here. And sandbags are great for absorbing bullets. It is quite literally a bag filled with sand. And, you know, if you shoot bullets at them, they tend to suck the bullets up and the bullets don't pass through them. We've got a rifle here. Okay, and we've got a periscope. All right, another key word here. Go away, look up what a periscope is. Find out why you think it might be important or useful for them to have periscopes in the trenches. Barbed wire. All right. So anybody trying to get into this trench who shouldn't be in this trench, i.e. the enemies, have got some kind of an obstacle to need to try and get through. Yeah. Okay. And then we've got no man's land. That's off this way. Yeah. And that is quite literally the area between the two trenches, the two opposing, say the German trenches and the Allied trenches. A large, and it could be, no man's land might be 25 meters wide, up to 100 or maybe even 200 meters in width. Okay. You could be close enough to the enemy. You could hear them talking and singing or shaving and or eating or cooking. Yeah. That is just how close you could be. So think about this. This is a cross section. And what I want you to do now is I want you to go away. Now you can use the diagram which is on this here, or you can create your own. But what I want you to do is I want you to have a go at drawing your own trench cross section. Okay. All right, with all these various different parts and stuff on it. Have a go at drawing one in your book or on some paper. Okay. Right, so pause the video here, go away, come back when you've done that. Next, we've got two photos here, this one and that one. We've got this one and this one. So have a look at these two photos. What is going on in these photos? All right, answer these two questions. What's going on? What is happening here? What do you think this man might be doing? Okay, have a look here. What's going on here? What are these guys doing? What, you know, these certainly I would say that these two photos depict normal, ordinary life stuff you kind of need to do, like ordinary everyday life, irrespective of whether you're fighting a war or not. Okay, so what other things might you need to do ordinarily in everyday life other than fighting a war, other than say shooting guns and stuff? What sorts of things? All right, so make a brief list of those kind of things and think about how you might kind of try and fit them into trench life, trench warfare. So finally, what are the difference between normal life then and normal life now? Okay, so think about how they might have lived their lives back in 1914, all right? And think about how we are living our life now. You could even, if you want to, talk about what normal life was like before lockdown and what it's like now, you know. How do you think lockdown life compares to life in 1914, yeah? Or even life in the trenches? You could, if you're feeling particularly angry and bitter about what's going on, saying we might as well be living in the trenches. Okay, but there we go. So look at these two, essentially these two here. Okay, and answer these questions down below. Pause the video, then come back when you're ready. So this next task, this next opportunity is quite a big one. All right. The first thing I'm going to need you to do is I'm going to need you to create a table. All right. Now this table is going to need to be at least an A4 piece of paper in size. If you're using your exercise book that you've got at home, then it needs to be across two kind of A5. So if it's a little book, if it's a short book, it's going to need to be at least 2 pages. If you're lucky enough to have one of the A4, one of the bigger exercise books at home, then it needs to fill a whole page. If you don't have your exercise book, you can do it on paper or you can do it on a computer. It's up to you. But the table needs to have 3 columns: source, aspects of daily life, and difficulties. So pause the video here, create this table, all right? Okay, and then come back when you've done that. So once you've got your table created, you're going to be doing some research, online research tasks. So each one of these, as you can see, is a little hyperlink, and you need the PowerPoint that goes with this video on Show My Homework. And if you click on any one of these links, it will bring up the British Library collection, World War I collection items. So each one of these links is clickable. You can make it bigger, which is quite nice, all right? And some of them, here we have our chap shaving in the puddle again. So some of them, yeah, have got more than one photos. So the reason why I wanted you to have a look at these on the internet is because there are quite a few of these photos. Also, what you can do as well is you can then also have a look on the British Library website as well, and you can look at other stuff, other resources. Okay, so spend some time on this website too. Some of them, as I aforementioned, have more than one page. So if we have a look at this page here, all right, some of them have more than one image attached. So here's the images. This one's got 3, and we can access each of the pages there. All right. If we have a look, there is a really nice book of World War I photographs here. So, and if you have a look, some really, really lovely, really pretty pictures, okay? And they've got also descriptions, explains what it is. This particular one was aimed at school children and teachers. All right. We could also, if we have a look at this one here. So I think this one's quite a few pages. This has got 10. Digger dialects. A collection of slang phrases used by Australian soldiers. So you see there's 10 on there. So have a look through all of these sources. Take your time, okay, looking at all the various different sources. When you've done that, then you need to go back to your table. You'll notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're going to need 9. You've got 3 rows. You're going to need 9. Sorry, yes, you're going to need 3 columns and then 9 rows on your table. And I've put one example in here for you. Source: British soldier washing in the shell crater. Aspect of daily life: washing, shaving, hygiene, whatever, and some of the difficulties. Okay, so soldiers were expected to keep themselves clean. Why do you think that is? Yeah, why do you think it was so important for soldiers to keep themselves clean? Ultimately, why could this be a problem as well? All right, so what are some of the difficulties shown in the actual source? Yeah, like for instance, it's easy for us. We get up, we'll go to the bathroom, there's fresh running water, you know, our toothpaste, our razors ready for us to go, the water's clean, the area is clean, but it's different if you're living in the trench. So complete this table, okay? You essentially want to look at, was trench life the same for all nationalities? How is it different? So once you've completed this table, answer these 3 questions. Yeah, all right. Was trench life the same for everybody? Did some nationalities, because if we go back here, you've got Indian people, Italians, Australians, an Alpine barber in the trenches. So we've got a variety of different nationalities. Okay, was it the same for them all? And if not, then how is it different? Yeah, because remember, this is the First World War was a world war. It wasn't all just Belgium, France on the Western Front. It was fought pretty much all over Western Europe. Yeah, even in places like Africa and Turkey and stuff, where it might have been a completely different war than it would have been, say, in Belgium. What aspect of life, yeah, does each of the source represent, and what difficulties? So these 2 questions really help you answer this table down here. Like I said, it's quite a big task. It's probably going to take you, you know, a good 30-40 minutes to go through each of these sources. Okay, and you could complete this table, and if you wanted, then you could pause the video and then come back for a second lesson. Okay, once you've completed this table, then we've got kind of almost like the second part of the lesson, okay, to take it on. So have a look at this particular picture here. So we've got a chap here. He's got some fabulous boots going on. He's got a cool looking jug thing. And yeah, he's got himself a candle, and there's some bottles, his pistols laying in there on the table and all the rest of it. Yeah, he's got like some kind of a stick, a riding crop or a walking stick and everything, a rather fabulous moustache and everything. You know, his tote bag there for, you know, because remember, you've got to take your own bags to the shops these days. You can't just pick up a carrier at the checkout anymore. So look at this image. Yeah, this man is a British Army officer. All right, and if you don't know what that means, might be worth spending some time researching it. What is an officer in the British Army? Okay, what do they do? What's their point, their purpose? So have a look at this image and answer these questions here. You know, was life then, looking at this image, and also looking at all of these as well, these sources, and answer these questions. Was life the same for all soldiers in the trenches? Did some soldiers get it easier than others? Yeah, what's going on in this photo? Yeah, what difficulties might be made easier for this man? Yeah, is his life any easier? Yeah, but also what difficulties would be the same for him? Yeah, why do you think an officer might get, say, an easier time or an easier life? You know, did they have an easier time? Yeah. Or do you think they just had different challenges? They found it just as hard, but, you know, it was different in some respects. Do you think this is fair, and why? Okay. If not, why not? So here we have a lovely little image here. Okay. So, you know, this is kind of the average load for the average British Tommy. Yeah. Going in and out. They wouldn't obviously carry this all day, every day. Yeah. But certainly if they're moving to and from the front, yeah, moving back to, say, some of the reserve trenches, okay, they would lug all their gear with them. Yeah. Helmet, you know, and a comfy hat to wear when they're not being shot at, their rifle, you know, have a sack full of food and rations, okay, a bayonet and a shovel for repairing trenches or building new ones, okay. Couple of keywords here, putties and boots, okay. Putties in particular, oops, okay, we don't want that, okay, that's rubbish. So highlighter and yellow, please. So what are putties? What do you think their point is? What's the purpose? Why have they had them? Yeah, these are the putties here. Why would they have these? Right, okay. So then they've got grenades, ammunition, a gas mask as well, water and everything like that. Okay. So fully loaded guy here, and you can imagine what it would be like. They're carrying probably maybe 20 or 30 kilos, perhaps maybe even more, up to about 40 kilos worth of gear, lugging it to and from the trenches. What they would probably do, though, is when they got to the front, they ditch half of this gear and throw it in one of the dugouts and just walk around with, say, like their ammunition, their water, then maybe their cape, all right, and their rifle as well. Okay, maybe a bayonet or a shovel to beat off anybody who gets into your trench. So, thinking back in particular to these putties and what they might be, have a look at this image here. It is gruesome. I make no apologies for this. Okay, it wasn't a nice war. It wasn't a happy war. Okay, what do you think this image shows? Okay, what is this image? Yeah. And ultimately, what could soldiers do to prevent it? Okay, pause the video here, answer these questions. So, bringing our lesson, you know, to an end, think in particular about his feet and look at this image here. All right, what's going on in this image? Yeah, or this image down here. Why do you think those putties might be important, and why ultimately, yeah, do you think that somebody might have feet like this? Okay, there's guys in a gas mask. Look, we've got bombs going off overhead. All right. So, challenge task, and this is quite a big project. All right, and you don't have to do it, but you know, if you've got some spare time on your hands, it would be great if you could go away and pick a medium. Now, you could do this in Minecraft. You could do it using cardboard, paper, papier-mâché, foam, styrofoam. It's up to you what form or what materials you use. But I would like you to have a go at creating either a trench network, that's going to require a little bit of research on your behalf, okay, or doing a cross-section of a trench. Take a photo of it, okay, and email it to me for the win and for awards and what have you, okay. Right, looking forward to receiving those, ladies and gents. Have fun and catch you all next week.